What's up, everybody? Fearon here. So I'm coming at you today with a free-to-play account. Uh, I did in a video maybe a couple weeks back just showing off how incredibly ridiculously lucky this account has been, and it just does not let up. So I'm going to show you a couple of my latest pulls, a couple of latest builds. I just fused Rhazin. I'll show you kind of what I'm doing with him. Uh, Talk a little bit about the fusion as well and what I'm going for. So start off with the fusion. Take a look at the champion. He's undead. The fun thing about this fusion is that it actually seems relatively free to play. Maybe not free to play, but a lot more friendly than the previous ones. There was less new champions. I think the Void Epic is the only thing that's net new. On my main account, I actually had all the rares already just sitting in the vault. So all I needed was Swally Firstborn. And also the champion seems pretty good. So I'm not going to dive too much into the specific skills, but I'll give you my quick thoughts on where I think Harvest Jack is going to be useful, as well as talk about, if I'm going to be going for him or not. So the short answer is I'm going to be getting him on the main account. It's pretty close already in terms of already having all the rares, as well as, doing the fusions during the next champion chase tournament will be a decent chunk of points. And I think he's going to be pretty useful. So he has a 3-hit A1 and he's Spirit Affinity. So I think people that are looking to progress or have a faster Fire Knight time, the Fire Knight 20 is Force Affinity, so he will be the Strong Affinity. He has multi-hit A1 for breaking the shield, and then he has 2 attack all moves with some True Fear, decrease speed, and decrease attack, and different debuffs that will help you out through the waves. So I think all in all, this guy is going to be a champ when it comes to Fire Knight. We'll have to see what his ratios are and when people build him how he actually does, but top of my head I think that he will be really useful there. And then secondly, I think he will be pretty interesting to see in the arena. Plarium has come out with a couple of champions now that to me kind of spell their answer to the speed meta. Rather than changing the existing champs or changing the existing things, they're releasing champions that just feel really good against what is popular at the time. So he's a pretty tanky guy with a lot of CC and kind of like buff stealing. So I could see him being super useful in a team that is pretty tanky and trying to, survive that first initial burst from a speed team and then kind of unleash hell after that. So my first thought, definitely going to be great in Fire Knight. Probably something that I'll want to invest in for future arena teams. I'm not quite sure anywhere else. He's a weak affinity for Dragon, even though his abilities seem good for the trash. Maybe Ice Golem, but I don't think that his attack all enemies are going to be doing enough damage for him to be super useful in anything Spider past like 12 or 13. But all in all, I think even just for Fire Knight, he's super worth it to build. If nothing else, it'll be a pretty cool looking champ that I don't think is that hard to get as far as fusions go. However, on the free-to-play account right now, I'm deciding to pass on the fusion. I just have too much stuff that I'm looking to build already, and I don't think that I'll be looking at Fire Knight anytime soon on this account. I think I'll just be farming Dragon ad nauseum for a very, very long time, and I'm just super excited to build out Rhazin. So we'll play with it on the main account, but skip it on this one for now. So the big thing that's happened in the last couple weeks is I finally got the last rare that I needed for the Rhazin fusion, and I also managed to use some of the saved gems that I have to start working on this most recent training event. I 6-starred Rhazin right at the start of it, and I had 5-star foods at level 1 that I put brews into to boost the progress on the event as well. I have battle, but I'm still putting Rhazin in Vamp. I think my clan is starting to do Ultra Nightmare, and the healing from battle is starting to not quite cut it in the later stages. So I think even though I have him, I'll start to move people back to Vamp in the near future. And then I'm trying out something that a friend of mine has been doing, where Rhazin is like decently tanky by himself, and he actually scales really well in terms of damage. So his A1, once I get this booked out and have some good gear, can slap for like 30Ks for each hit. So you can be doing, close to 100K, if not a little more, on each turn, even pre the Giant Slayer mastery. And then I was able to finish out masteries on Rhazin. I've had him at 5-star for about a week and a half now, and was using all my energy on that until my EXP boost came out. I was actually pretty surprised, since I haven't been building as many 6-stars since this account is free to play, at how much faster the Minotaur grind felt and compared to the 6-star grind itself. I was done with this before I even had my first 5-star food, I think. But yeah, so a couple things that I'm changing around. I have crit damage gloves on him. Then everything else is pretty standard. You know, we got an accuracy banner. This is another example of the ridiculous RNG on this account. Look at me, I have like 5 extra pieces of Lizardman jewelry in the bank, and I got a double speed roll on a 6-star accuracy banner. And then defense, the crit damage, defense, speed, you know, all this stuff. But I am looking to get gear that has decent crit rate and crit damage rolls. I think what I'll try and shoot for is somewhere around 200% crit damage with 100% crit rate, and then in the 170 to 190 speed range and 3k defense with a little bit more HP. His stats are still pretty weak since he's not 60 yet, but this is kind of what I'm going towards. I'm liking this necklace right now, the defense one with the double accuracy roll, but as I finish gearing him out and feel out how tanky he needs to be, I might try out a crit damage necklace or amulet on him as well. So yeah, and so the main idea is he's tanky enough with his defensive stats and his good base HP and base defense. He scales really well with the crit damage, so build him kind of into that to pump out more damage from him, since it will be my last person standing anyways. The other cool thing about Rhazin is it took my dragon time down almost a minute. So I was averaging somewhere between like 3.5 to 4 minutes per run, with the best time of 3 minutes. And I've now I maybe done like 2 bars of energy over the last couple of days in Dragon 20, and I got a 2:16 time. This is the team that I'm running now. So I had an apothecary in here that I subbed Rhazin in for, starting to move towards a more full damage team. Bad Owl will probably stay in here forever because he has the damage boost and the poison for the boss, but we have Tyrell for the fence break, Royal Guard for the max HP damage on the boss and on the waves, Aethar for poison damage on the boss, Rhazin for the A3 to help me clear the waves, as well as he's just like super tanky. And I think it's just because he's low level right now and he's really low HP, but the trash mobs end up hitting him as well. I still have not really looked at any of the other dungeons. I think I've just done what I've had to do for the progress missions. Spider, I farm Spider 13 every once in a while, but I haven't gone up much past here. Pretty crazy the difference here, especially since I don't have a cold heart yet, that I'm doing Spider 13 in about the same amount of time that I'm doing Dragon 20. But yeah, so been excited to build up Rhazin. I think he'll bring a lot to my team. He'll be replacing Aethel on my clan boss team. And then I did just finish, maybe a couple days ago, my monthly shard, so 3 days ago. And being the terrible saver that I am, I pulled it right away. And I was just so floored. I had just 6-starred Rhazin, and I picked up this guy right here. So the crazy RNG continues. I've managed to get a counterattack here on this account. I just recently got my first counterattack here on my main, and this will round out what I think will be a very, very viable and like almost awkwardly meta clan boss team for this free-to-play account. So what I'll be doing is pulling out my apothecary and putting in the Skull Crusher, running Skull Crusher, Rhazin, Tyrell, Aethar, and Battle. Definitely will be interesting to play with. I've actually never run slow counter before, so a counterattack team where you're trying to tune everyone to around 170 or 190 speed, depending on if you're doing Nightmare or if you're doing Ultra Nightmare. So excited to kind of like dive into this. It's a little less of just like gearing everyone out as best as you can, and more getting into the minutia of this should be a team that I should set up for auto, where everyone's getting their 3-turn buffs off. We're getting counterattack for every 2 slams, even on auto, and Battle is speed tuned to always go right after the slam to cleanse the stun off of whoever it is. So definitely going to do some video guides on this, talking about how we tune this up as it gets there, and can even compare and contrast it to the faster version of counterattack that I run on my main account. So just completely floored again. Really excited to build this out. Only had to put 2 books in him as well, but it's going to take a while to build this up. He's only 4-star. no masteries. Gotta find some gear. This account does not have quite the stash of stuff that I do in the other account. So showing off one drag around with this new comp on this account. Pretty interesting too. I just did a guide the other day on how to do a fast speed team for Dragon 20 Auto, and what this looks like on a little bit less geared of an account. You know, I still had RNGs on my side when it came to the champions themselves, but most of the stuff here is not the craziest of gear. So the big thing that I've changed here is put in Rhazin for Apothecary, but the rest of it kind of follows the formula that I laid out in the other video, where we have two poisoners in Battlecazar and Aethar that really help chew through the boss. We have Taborel as an AoE defense down, and then we have Royal Guard as AoE damage and max enemy HP damage. This will be a ton better once I can reliably get Royal Guard alive to the last stage, and that will just come with gear, I think. I think this team comp is set up to be, you know, possibly in the minute 30 range as the gear gets better. Like I said, it's averaging more in like the 2:30 to 3 minute range with a peak time of like 2:15, I think I saw. But Rhazin is really great as a transition pick here in that he enables me to run Royal Guard at least somewhat efficiently and some more damage in the team. He really helps you in that first wave get through with everyone alive, since he does the full turn meter deplete. He's also just another tanky body and a single target weaken and defense down for the dragon itself. And Giant Slayer hits pretty hard here. You saw there, 48k. And that's it. Been super excited the last couple of days. This count has kind of been in a holding pattern for a while, where I've had the same clan boss team. No one really knew that I've been looking to build, just working on fusing Rhazin and grinding Dragon 20. But really speeding up that team by fusing Rhazin and then having another person to build on top of it has just been a lot of fun, and really excited to really dig into this comp that I'll be able to build over the next couple of weeks. All right. Thank you so much to everyone for watching. Make sure if you enjoyed it, toss a like or leave me a comment on what you would like to see, and I'll see y'all next time.